Hey everybody, it's Canelius here, and today I'm going to talk about something pretty important. I'm going to be talking about the ins and outs of gratefulness. So, to start, I just want to say, I've from a young age, I always felt like my struggles are different from others. I'm sensitive to correction, I feel. That if I find many flaws in something or enough flaws in that thing, I won't even bother doing it. I will feel disabled in doing that very thing. And I feel like there is a lot of correction that is needed in the world. The problem is that we don't have successful enforcers to enforce better correction and to enforce better psychological mindsets on people so they can feel better about life and definitely be more grateful. I feel a need for a true coming of Christ that will come along and change the world forever. Many, I think, will respect him, but those that don't will soon be convinced that the person or thing that is coming is a true way of life and a way of God. Somebody like this would provide, positive value for the world. It'd be in a world where slavery wouldn't be an issue or slavery wouldn't be a concern because everybody, everyone has an opinion that is precious and it means something, whereas back then, slavery only ended, the start of slavery only ended 200 years ago, so anything could have happened. It could have went. Religion didn't have people that were just free. They were, enslaved, or they were, hopeless and needed anything they could get to, potentially live a better life. I feel like the values of Jesus seem vague and ineffective for someone that is trying to find the truth and become a better person. What people need in their lives is someone that is going to get them to understand the ins and outs of gratefulness and progressive development. To be a progressive person, we have to understand gratefulness in its most optimal form. We have to ask ourselves, what is the best way to perceive gratefulness? The best way to perceive gratefulness that it is a main purpose of life, simply. The gratefulness of the human life experience itself. This means everything that makes us human, everything that gives us the power to evolve. To evolve, we need to be in the conscious state of mind to make recognitions and then act upon those very recognitions for the purpose of evolving. Appreciation for evolving ourselves is the key for enjoyment in life and happiness in our life. The human experience would just then be meaningless without gratefulness for evolution. Without this, we'd just be a group of animals creating anarchy and destruction. A rather more intelligently evil group of animals, to say the least. Another question to reflect on is, what exactly are the very things that should make us grateful for evolving? The answer to this would be the very things that make us human beings, which are our hands, legs, conscious mind, and rest of the parts that make our bodies function normally as humans. These things I mentioned are most essential. Having the conscious mind to critically think about what you're being told so that you can make conclusions about whether that very thing you're being presented or told is worth your time and dedication. Critically thinking skills are very important because they make us more sensitive to correction and incorrection. These are some things you should know if you want to live life optimally, is being able to call out, fraudulency in certain things that are brought out to us. Like, you need to understand that not everything is just made for you. Not every religion is made for you. Just because there's a religious faith out there that, your family is forcing you to worship, just because something out there seems like it's popular, doesn't mean it's the right thing for you, or doesn't mean there's not better options. There could be better options out there. You just gotta, find it within yourself of what you need to do with your life. You have to understand that life isn't this miraculous fairy tale. Everyone in life thinks it is. There is suffering, and there are people who don't suffer as much. And then they die all as neutral beings that don't exist, that once lived, that have power to make an impact on the future from their life experience. The future of humanity, the future of evolution, of humankind. That's what we contribute to when we live life. Life is always better having the truth in mind. When we make the main purpose of life gratefulness, the people that are suffering, the world, give us more purpose to be grateful. Grateful for the life and opportunities we have to constantly make our lives better and constantly make improvements to our lives. And we should be grateful because people don't have the same power to make improvements in their lives as we do, such as disabled people or people that are occupied in third world countries. We should keep in mind that we are privileged and use this as motivation to make improvements to our lives and everybody's lives around us. Some very helpful things we could do to be in a good state of well-being are to focus on the constant development of ourselves in all realms, over saying, I wasn't born for that, and making the same excuses. Fitness is an important aspect of your life, especially training your core body strength, because that's what makes getting up to do things easier. I feel like riding a horse, or opening the windows when you drive a car, or going on an electric scooter, or riding a bike makes a big impact. It could make a big impact on your life. Just something as simple as getting a strong breeze of fresh air while riding your vehicle, or a horse or whatever you have, makes a large impact on your day, making your whole body feel refreshed. From my experience, after I go on my ride with my scooter, it just makes me feel a lot better. It's a relief. It gives me peace of mind. I also work out a few times a week at my local gym. It's good for socializing while getting exercise. And then I have a home gym. In my basement where I like to do workouts. Always having a gym accessible could only better yourself. I do fundamental core workouts like push-ups, planks, adjustable dumbbell workouts. I get creative with the workouts. Get creative with the bench that I have. Do leg extensions, pull-ups. I have a pull-up machine, and do some interval cardio too at the gym. Some intense sprints, and then you walk a bit, and then intense sprint again for a certain amount of time until until you've had enough or you can't do anymore. And I feel like sometimes you'll have to mute people out from your life. This is because sometimes the opinions of others are oftentimes corrupted and better off to be ignored. Don't be consumed by fallacies, because that will shape you in who you are very quickly if it's popular enough. So you gotta be careful, you gotta be aware of what you're being told, of what you're being presented, because you'll be consumed by it if you're not careful. So that's my message to you. Gratefulness is very important. It helps us get through hard times. It helps us get through rough patches in our life. If we could be grateful for the basic things that makes up life, if we could just be grateful, then we could never tumble down that hard to the point where we can't get up afterwards. You always gotta be grateful. You always gotta have a love for yourself. And that's it. This is Canellis. Have a great rest of your day. Have a great life. And I hope you become the best version of yourself.